Foundation. As you must be aware, the Saans Foundation is a foundation which is basically catering to respiratory, critical care, lifestyle and sleep related disorders. Now Saans Rehab is one of the extension of the Saans Foundations. It's a rehabilitation unit for all chronic diseases. I'll just be very specific about what exactly we do in rehab settings. Rehabilitation program is a program for all the chronic diseases, especially the chronic respiratory diseases, whether it's COPD or chronic stable asthma or interstitial lung disease or any chronic neuromuscular diseases which involves your respiratory system at large. As you all agree that when you go through a chronic progressive respiratory problems, the biggest problem is that it increases your work of breathing, you feel very fatigued, breathless, and you're not able to do your routine activities well, and that leads to you feel very incapacitated, so you feel very irritable, and that is responsible for major depression, anxiety and other things. So a chronic respiratory disease, primarily the COPD, as we are moving into the era of major COPDs because of the chronic smoking, poorly managed asthmas. So there's a need to do something more in COPD because the drug alone is not going to help them because these are progressive, non-reversible diseases. So primarily we are handling COPDs, but we handle all different types of cardiorespiratory diseases. So I'll just give you what exactly we do it and why people are benefited by these rehab programs. So Saans Rehab program is a mind, body, soul program. So we believe that any disease has a cognitive perception, what we call illness. Now, when you suffer from a certain diseases, when you're saying that you're not able to help yourself, you're not able to take bath, you're not able to participate in social activities, when you're continuously feeling breathless, the illness plays a very important role. Illness is a state of mind. So what we do in Saans Rehab, we have a very state-of-the-art rehab settings. We also do doorsteps rehab programs, home care programs. We have an outpatient rehab units. Also, we have a very dedicated high-end rehab units. So what we do in our rehab units, we educate patients, we talk to them, and we keep them for 3 to 5 days. In that process, we educate them and we tell them, like, look, since your disease has a lot of cognitive perceptions, the first days we motivate them to that extent so that it's a kind of a journey from illness to wellness. We give them a lot of wellness programs so that they feel motivated, they feel charged up. So wellness program is a very important component of our Saans Rehab programs. We have wellness coach who talk to them, address their anxiety, apprehensions, depression and other units. In our wellness programs, we talk about their anxiety, apprehensions, nutrition, sleep, and we try to help them out. So first I'll talk about the wellness programs, which is a very important part of our rehab program. In wellness programs, we subject it to a 360-degree programs. The first and foremost thing in the wellness program, we try to create a kind of mental wellness in them because we try to remove their negativity, try to teach them the bigger pictures. So basically we said that you have to be very positive, keeping the situation in mind. And we tell them, make 2 circles. The left circles you make that you don't think about the history, what you have done, forget about it, and you have not seen the future. On the right side, we ask them to make a circle where we tell them, like, learn from your history, learn from your past, improve your today. And if you improve your today, you do certain kind of programs and nurture yourself, do some fitness programs, your future becomes today. So we motivate them through our mental wellness programs. And finally, we take them to an emotional wellness program. We feel that all chronic diseases, as we grow older with diseases, there's a lot of repression component. There's a combination of what we call expressive emotion versus repressed emotions, what we call emotional wellness. So we try to help them out and try to create a balance in their mind, help them to go through a catharsis, what we call emotional wellness programs. We have a structured program, emotional wellness, and finally we give them the right kind of environmental wellness. We talk to them and we see to it how best we can create the right movement of energy in their environment, whether the house or their workplace, and eventually helping them to participate in social wellness programs so that they can feel more independent, they can participate. And also we tell them that 70 to 80% you can do. There are certain things you cannot change in life, but at the same time you have to be courageous to change the thing which you can. So there comes the role of spiritual wellness. We create a balance and we say what exactly parking, what is the right kind of balancing, the harmony. So this is about the wellness programs. So whenever we admit these patients for 3-4 days, we subject to these wellness programs through our wellness programs, and also we score it. Then the next program we call is the rehabilitation program, the pulmonary rehab, which is a physical rehabilitation programs, where we try to explain them what exactly is happening in the lungs. The basic problem, especially when we are talking relevant to COPDs and all, they take short breaths because the lung is something like a pressure cooker effect. They are not able to breathe out adequately because of the loss of elasticity. They take small breaths and they find it difficult to breathe out. As you all agree, there are two components of breathing, the inspiration and expiration. Expiration is elastic recoil. That means how the lung is squeezing out to take out the breath out. Inspirate is an effort. So what happens in COPD is that because of the loss of elasticity, because of the airway resistance, they cannot empty their lungs adequately. There's a lot of residual volume, what we call increased functional residual capacity. So always they breathe at a high lung volumes, and that gives them a lot of breathlessness. We help them to decongest the lungs. We give them a lot of breathing out techniques. We use PEEP valves. We have lung vibrators. We use non-invasive ventilations. We use muscle trainings. We have a very high-end gym here. We give specific muscle techniques. We give them cycling. We give them oxygenation techniques. We make them walk so that we make their muscles much more endurant. So in rehabilitation program, everything is done in a very structured program. After explaining the disease, how they can do it, certain different breathing techniques we have innovated here. You can Google about us and learn the breathing techniques. We have a regular wellness program which run in Hindu newspapers where we talk about all the individual breathing techniques. So in a nutshell, what we talk about is a power breath here. Now what is a power breath? Power breath is a technique where we teach people how to take more breath per breath. Normally imagine, suppose you're suffering from really lung disease, whether it's COPD or chronic lung diseases, like in any form, even in interstitial. The first thing is that you start breathing from the chest. That means your lung volume comes down. You breathe faster. When you breathe faster, that means you take less amount of volume of air into the lungs. In that process, what we call a minute ventilation, which is a product of how much of air which you're breathing in and your respiratory rate. Normally for 1 minute, we need around 5 liters of air. But if you're breathing, suppose you're supposed to breathe about 500 ml of air, but if you're not able to breathe 500 ml, suppose you're taking 250 ml of breath, so you will be breathing 20, because 250 into 20 is 5 liters. So when you breathe faster, you get fatigue. So what we teach them is how you can breathe more breath. So we help them to breathe more. Suppose a person, we teach them to breathe from 250 to 350 to 450 or 500 ml. So what happens? When you teach them to breathe more, they breathe less number of breaths. So that is what we call more breath per breath. This is a technique which is a 360-degree techniques where we nurture the muscles. We give inspiratory muscle techniques, we expiratory muscle techniques. We use PEEP valves, we use course incentive spirometers, different methods we are using. We have exercise bikes here, we have gyms, we have non-invasive ventilations. So this is a dedicated rehab program we're running it, which is always the unique part of the Saans rehab program. It's a combination between Saans wellness and a muscle training programs. So that's why we said we help people not only to breathe better, we help people breathe and feel better. So Saans rehab is a very unique program. I request all of you, your dear and near ones, whosoever is suffering from chronic respiratory diseases or any cardiorespiratory diseases or anything which makes them feel very breathless for whatever the reasons, they should avail this program. It is done in a systematic. Our team of people, right from wellness coach to therapists, to our educators, to nutritionists, they play a very important role, and we play a very important role as far as the nutrition is concerned. We have special diet fibers. We help them to eat less carb. We make them much more leaner. We motivate them. So nutrition is also a very important component of our Saans Rehab. So my dear friends, please join these Saans Rehab programs. Avail these facilities. It's located in the southern part of the New Delhi, and see what people are talking about it. You can visit our website www.saansfoundationindia.com and more know about our Saans Rehab initiatives. Thank you.